Welcome back to the Big Block Sports Podcast, the show that tackles the truly monumental issues in the world of athletics. Thank you for tuning in. While you're at it, give us a like, subscribe, share, repost, whatever buttons you have on the platform that you're on, we would appreciate it. Today, we're asking a very simple, terrifying question. What exactly does a blue check mark mean these days? Used to be like a digital press pass, a sign that you were a vetted, legitimate figure. Now it's just a digital target, especially if you happen to throw a football for a living. You see them every Sunday or Monday, sometimes on Thursdays. Our gridiron gladiators, slinging passes, evading linemen, carefully curating their own posts for social media, all while dodging hot takes from the television. We laud their arm strength, their pocket presence, their ability to thread the needle on a 40-yard bomb. But what about their ability to handle the rush from a defensive line and a blitz of angry DMs? Their ability to thread the needle on Instagram, all while knowing millions of fans, analysts, even their own teammates are dissecting every digital syllable. It's a new, more intimate kind of pressure. We talk about defensive schemes and offensive playbooks. There's a whole new one being written in the DMs and replies. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on behind the blue check, the psychological tightrope our quarterbacks and some star players walk every day. It's now a part of their job description. Right next to must have a cannon arm or must be able to read a cover two rotation, they must be able to navigate social media. Now you might think, what's the big deal? Just don't read the comments. If only it were that simple. Because for today's NFL quarterback, social media isn't just a place to post their off-season golf game or their golden retriever. It's a fundamental part of their professional identity. It's their brand. Frankly, it's their paycheck. It's reading a fascinating piece from the Sports Business Journal. It's a publication that gets into the actual money and the business of sports. The article was called How the NFL is Working the Angles with Social Content Shops. Essentially, the league and these media companies aren't just reacting to player social media. They're actively curating and monetizing player brands. Think about it. Every sponsored post, every carefully crafted response, every fan appreciation tweet. It's all a part of a larger ecosystem. Players aren't just athletes. They're walking, talking, tweeting, Instagramming businesses. And here's the kicker. Their contracts often have clauses around this very thing. It's not just a suggestion from the PR team, it's in the fine print. While I don't say you got to post selfies on Tuesday, the standard player contract does include a public relations clause that requires them to participate in reasonable activities to promote the team and the league. And even more critically, there's a morals clause that gives the team a way out, but players' social media sullies their public image. So that psychological tightrope we're talking about, it's not just for their sanity, it's to protect their guaranteed money. And who's at the top of that business pyramid? The quarterbacks, of course, they're the face of the franchise, the guy with the ball in his hands, and therefore the guy with the biggest target on his back. You see the highlight reels, the cool endorsements, the perfectly framed family photos. But behind that, there's a whole team strategizing every single emoji. It's like a digital game plan for success, only instead of beating a blitz, trying to beat the algorithms. ThoughtMetric, an e commerce business that works in data analytics, had a post on their blog titled, "The Most Talked About Quarterbacks on Social Media." Their data showed who's getting talked about the most, and more importantly, the sentiment around those mentions. You have quarterbacks whose every move is meticulously tracked, every misthrow amplified, every post could be turned into a scandal. For example, Kyler Murray wearing a Michael Vick jersey while sitting with his dog, a pit bull. The internet lost its collective mind, and the commentary, to say the least, was extremely colorful. The scrutiny is instant and vile. It's more personal than ever before. It's one thing to hear boos from the stands. It's another thing to open your DMs after a tough loss and be told you ruined someone's weekend. You ruined someone's birthday. And unfortunately, now you could be subject to death threats. It's an anonymous digital mob that could turn any performance to a personal character assassination. Consider rookie quarterbacks. You think it's tough when you're the face of the franchise? Try being the kid who was just drafted to replace the beloved veteran who's been with the team for a decade. The hate mail, the DMs. You'll never be him. The outright venom, simply because you exist. So, what's the take home message here? For our modern quarterback, the blue check isn't just a badge of authenticity, it's a digital weight, constant reminder that their public persona is perpetually under construction, under scrutiny, and under attack. And now, with the explosion of sports gambling, every one of their decisions is tied to someone's bank account. A missed throw just isn't a missed throw, it's a lost parlay. An ACL isn't just an ACL, it's a failed bet on an anytime touchdown. This adds a whole new financially motivated kind of anger, making the pressure that much more intense. Makes me wonder about the long-term psychological toll. We've seen quarterbacks, after their careers are over, simply disappear from public life. They're so burnt out by the constant gaze that their only desire is to vanish entirely. You have guys like Ryan Leaf. Ryan Leaf was drafted decades ago, 1998. And to this day, he has to walk around with the brand of draft bust attached to his name. And this isn't just a digital problem. The internet has just amplified a long-standing cruelty in sports culture. But imagine that brand today, with replays going viral, with every moment of perceived failure shared and reposted. It's an inescapable digital prison. So is the blue check really about being exalted? Or is it just about being perpetually targeted? Either way, for these guys, it's not just a game anymore. It's a lifestyle. And it's always on. For the first time in the history of the sport, their performance isn't just a win or a loss. It's a win or a loss for millions of people's bets. Feedback is instantaneous, brutal, and often without mercy. The pressure is on and it's coming from every direction. Until the next time, keep your passes tight and your tweets even tighter.